Yo, Charlamagne the Broad, Mr. Sambo, Lenny, you a bitch. Actually, nah. I'm not even gonna call you that. You a fuck nigga. A Sambo, and you're proud to be a sellout. You even said it on Vlad TV. The reason why I'm even saying that in general is because of what transpired recently on that Brilliant Idiots episode that you had with your white boy Andrew Schultz, and you tried to put a bug in Akademiks' ear. Now, Akademiks is a socially awkward dweeb. He has an extremely limited knowledge on hip-hop, and the name DJ should be stripped and revoked from him, in my own personal opinion. But to give Akademiks any sort of fairness and being objective, just like how he prides himself on being that, I gotta say, Akademiks made an amazing amount of success on YouTube, and he knows how to do it. He's also a very hard-working individual. His work ethic, in my opinion, is up there with Tupac and Lil Wayne. In addition to that, you know, when I see Akademiks have these discussions on Twitch, he needs to have that same energy with Joe Budden. He needs to have that same energy with Charlamagne and Schultz on Brilliant Idiots, but he didn't though. So I can't respect Akademiks for that. And then it's amazing how it seems like his knowledge only goes as far as the 2010s. He may know a few things in the early 2000s, but that's about it. But you know, Charlamagne, that wasn't cool. And it wasn't cool because, one, it shows how envious, how much you hating on Joe Budden and Akademiks show Everyday Struggle, because you see the potential it has in it. And honestly, the Breakfast Club has been in a decline because, Lenny, you've become very politically correct. And it's pretty ironic though, because you were the same man who said he was gonna make a book based on political incorrectness. But hey, I guess those black women, and I guess all these white liberals and whatever groups got the better of you, and even a white conservative like Tommy Lauren. So, seems like Charlamagne, you bitched out. You got the industry get the better of you. You used to be the one who used to call people out and fuck shit. You still do it, but you do it in such a diplomatic way now, Lenny. But before I continue going on a tangent, let me just go back into what I was referring to as far as Akademiks going. The Jamaican boy, Akademiks. Now, with Akademiks, you put a bug in his ear by trying to tell him that Everyday Struggle is going to last 6 months tops because Joe Budden and his emotionally unstable and moody and, you know, condescending ways. To be honest with you, I think that, along with Akademiks' personality, that dynamic actually fits very well. But you want to try to downplay it because you're part of a syndicate like the Breakfast Club. But, you know, with Nadeska, Joe Budden, and Akademiks, and the way that energy comes out, and the way that they speak on the subject matters they speak on, and they touch on things that a lot of you industry niggas are too scared to touch on. Well, all I can say is you saw him as a threat. And rather congratulating another black man, Mr. Black Privilege, what do? You try to shit on the show and say that it won't even last a year because of what you think Joe... I don't think Joe Budden is stupid enough to do that. I know the man has done coke, and Joe Budden is not, he ain't off the hook either. He wants to talk about how L.A. Reid, like fucking, he's on some ephebophilic shit, and L.A. Reid had everything coming to him, but look at you, man, you beating the fuck out of women, and you sniffing line. In addition to that, you've never had a success so consistent in hip-hop outside of Love and Hip Hop and maybe Slaughterhouse. So how could you sit here and try to get on people like Yachty, which is something I should have said in my last video, but I got the energy in this one. Like, how could you do that, Joe? and then y'all going back and forth on Twitter. Fuck all that. You should have said some shit to Charlamagne went back last year when you went on his podcast. Or did the white boy Schultz and Lenny overwhelm you, even though you had your boy Rory with you? Nah. I mean, Joe Budden to me, when I saw that recent episode on Everyday Struggle, and they were talking about Kanye, and they were talking about, just his overall mind state, the fact that Joe Budden got so quiet, and he got so politically correct, if I may. Nah, fuck that. He was being politically correct like a motherfucker. That just goes to show you that there's some insiders that he knows about. So if you truly cared about the well-being, then you would have had that same energy that you typically have. But you seem very docile, Joe, compared to those episodes that I normally see with you, especially when it comes to you being so vigorous and showing so much vitriol towards academics. Yep. But Charlamagne, I got no respect. I don't even think I even respect you anymore, like at all. You've gone too politically correct. You try to be on the fence. You're too much of a fence sitter when it comes to the topic of, racial matters. It shows how out of touch you are when it comes to the state of hip hop, but people want to make it seem like you're this bigwig when it comes to, and you're somehow an ambassador to hip hop these days. That's how people want to treat you. And I'm sure those white people, they love black privilege because it just gives them that reassurance, and now they can use another deflective tactic on why black people go through the place they go through, even though a lot of it is self-inflicted. Let's not get it twisted now. I'm not one of those Negroes who just try to play the woe is me and white supremacy shit all day, so you cannot say that shit to me. But at the same time, I live in reality. I see things for what they are. We cannot overlook white people. We cannot overlook the white man. We can't overlook these white bitches. We can't overlook anybody, or these black females, these black broads, and even these black men, just like you. But then again, you're the successor of, tranny Wendell Williams. So it makes sense for you to have that instigating, manipulative mindset. It makes sense. Wendell taught you well. Wendy taught me. Oh, she taught you well, Leonard. She taught you really well. I ain't even gonna call you by your epithet. I'm not gonna call you by your nickname and what you're known for. You used to be pretty infamous for getting under people's skin. Even though I know you were doing it from a place of being a shock jock and getting those ratings from, Revolt and the Breakfast Club and whatnot. But at least there were things I was able to respect within it because I noticed the transparency, Leonard. But now, you bitched out. Maybe somebody tossed your salad, because, you always talked about how you like getting your salad tossed, Lenny. Who knows? Maybe you have some super freaky girl that's into, doing strap-ons. Eat your salad. Maybe you just been around Schultz too long, and you've been in the industry too long, and you've allowed these people in your circle to influence you into being this politically correct, I stand on the side of liberal parties, which black folks make the mistake of being liberal, conservative, or libertarian. Black people should form their own parties, but you make the mistake of trying to do the whole being a Democrat and all that BS. I always thought you were a free thinker, Lenny, even though in spite of you being a jackass and trying to say perverted things to get a reaction and, all that stuff. But now, I guess you going to your dermatologist and you making more money and you selling your books like black privilege, and you're being welcomed by the powers that be or something. You're obviously getting more positive reception, and you like being around the company of white people. That's what it seems like. You did always talk about how you don't like being around niggas on Vlad TV. You always said that you can't wait till you sell out, because you can't sell out until you can buy in. Just saying. I'm not saying anything from a purely emotional place. I'm saying a lot of this based on factual things I've observed, things I've heard. I have audio proof. This is all documented. Yup. Yeah, Charlamange. Maybe it made, even though Wendell was coming from a petty place, when it, she, shim said who, when they asked about you, Charlamange, I could say the same thing, because I've known about you, Charlamange, since 2011. Now let's look at fast forward in 2017, Lenny, and you've become, I don't know who the fuck. But then again, you also told Vlad that money don't change people. It only amplifies the character. So you always been on some fuck shit, and you always been a fuck nigga. But I guess it's tenfold now. Trying to put a bug in Akademiks' ear by trying to downplay the success and talk about how Joe was going to somehow ruin the show. Well, if you felt like Joe was going to ruin the show that bad and you just didn't pay Joe no mind, and Joe was just that crazy cokehead, wife-beating motherfucker, and then why did you feel the need to have this back and forth with him on Twitter? Because, Akademiks showed that. You taking jabs at him on your Brilliant Idiot segments and saying that you don't got no problems. But didn't you tell Joe Budden that you ain't never been on no passive aggressive shit? Didn't you tell Joe that, Lenny? Didn't you tell Joseph Budden that, Lenny? Did you say that last year when he was on the Brilliant Idiots? When you came to discuss Drake's and whatever gripes you guys had, didn't you say that you never on some passive aggressive shit? You see, I listen to people. I'm not going to say something I can't prove. Or at the very least infer, but 8 times out of 10 prove. So that's my assessment on you, old Charlamagne the Broad, Charlamagne the Sambo, the so-called God. How you gonna be a five? How you gonna be a part of something like the 5%, but then you talk about how much you love white women? God damn. But then again, you said you're not a hypocrite. God damn, Lenny, you fucking up, man. I'm out.